Hey guys, welcome back one and all to another Final Fantasy Record Keeper video. I'm Forte, and today I want to talk to you guys about the 250 difficulty Torment dungeon for the Final Fantasy X world, whatever you want to call it. And I want to talk to you guys about a way to clear through the trash mob with a minimal ability use. Now, as you can see, I've cleared this. And I'm going to show you how to get to the final round without having to use up too many of your heals and so on. Now I'm going to let you know now that this is actually not the team I used to beat this event, the 250 difficulty one. The team that I use, I'll talk about it a little bit later if you're interested. But this is a method where if you use this method, which is to use Gilgamesh's Burst Soul Break, you can clear through the trash mobs with relative ease. Now, the reason why I couldn't clear the 250 difficulty dungeon with this team is because I simply don't have enough sustain. I don't do enough damage. I don't have a Burst Soul Break on my White Mage, which really sucks. So, yeah, this is what I got. I was able to get pretty far with this team. Hopefully you have something better, but Gilgamesh's Burst Soul Break really laid the ground for getting there really easy. So if you have better soul breaks, better gear than I do, you'll probably be able to get to the final round with relative ease. So let's just go into it. This is the team that I'm using just for example purposes. Like, I don't actually know if this team can beat the final boss, so yeah. And when you're going against a boss, going into that final round, the most important thing is to have KO resist gears. Now, accessories. Sorry. Now, his swallow ability will do percentage HP damage to your whole party. So whatever your mitigation is, doesn't matter. Okay. So if you have these KO resist accessories, you pretty much nullify one of the abilities that the boss has. So let's go to the dungeon, and I'll show you guys how to get to the final round with little difficulty. Okay, so 60 stamina. Let's get into it. The most important thing is round one. You want to fight 2 enemies, because you're going to be setting up on those enemies. Now 3, 4, and 5, if you encounter the dungeon, if you encounter those in the first round, you can just leave and reset, because the beauty of this Torment dungeon only is that the stamina cost is not paid until you've beaten the dungeon. Now this guy there's one of them, right? But he's a horrible target to set up on, so I'm just gonna flee and then re-enter the dungeon and hopefully get round 1 with 2 guys in it. The reason why that YAT, I forget what it's called, 66 or something, 46, whatever, is because he simply does too much damage. And while you're setting up, obviously it's when you're most vulnerable, and you just don't want to deal with that. Alright, so this is perfect right here. We got a bomb and an Albed worker. You're gonna life siphon with your burst ability users. The one you want to target down first is the bomb, because he simply does too much damage. He has an AoE fire ability, and his single target nuke fire ability hurts a lot as well. So you definitely want to focus him down first. Once I get this setup going, I shouldn't have to use a heal. The regen that I get from Yoshitola's Super Soul Break will be enough to sustain the party until, about halfway through, until like maybe round 4, round 5 of this fight, and then you'll have to recast it. So I'm gonna use Gilgamesh's, ow, that hurts, but that's okay. So we're gonna use Gilgamesh's second Burst Soul Break ability. So now whenever Gilgamesh gets attacked, Gilgamesh will counter attack. And with the White Mages, just auto attack, because you want to build up their Soul Break as well. Fortunately, I have Wrath. You don't have to bring it, but yeah. And then how the turn order for Gilgamesh is second burst soul break ability. I'm not going to say its name because I'm going to butcher it. You're going to use 2 life siphons in a row, and then on the 4th turn, on the last turn where Gilgamesh still has the buff, or his burst soul break buff, you will use that to recast his second soul break burst soul break ability. So just attack, life siphon, and whoever your support is, whether it's Tyro or Ramza, just use your auto attacks. Put Ace Striker on that person, so when your auto attack will fill up your soul gauge faster. Now once you have your burst soul breaks, don't hesitate to use them, because pretty much the burst soul break abilities give you infinite abilities, and with that you can clear the mobs without putting a stress on your main abilities that you will need for the boss later. Okay. Now as you can see, my party is slowly healing up. Regen is keeping everybody healthy. It's fantastic. Now there's 5 of them here. Now without the setup, this can actually be really hard to deal with, but while you have Gilgamesh's setup going, everything here is pretty cake. Just let the regen heal up your whole party. Now, as I was mentioning earlier with the attack order, if you go burst soul break ability, the second one that lets him counterattack, 2 life siphons, and then on the 4th one you use the burst soul break ability again, that will give you enough to use Gilgamesh morphing time pretty much every time, so you'll have it consistently up. Okay, so we'll just keep charging the soul break. And then preferably if you have somebody with an AoE burst ability, just spam that AoE ability. Try to clear out these mobs as fast as you can. So, oh no, I misclicked right there. I should have refreshed the burst soul break ability. That was my mistake, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. So, and there you go. This is pretty much how you would go about, if you have Gilgamesh's burst soul break, this is how you would get to the final round with relative ease. Like, I haven't even used the heal yet. My Ramza is almost back to full health. Yoshitola is almost back to full health. And once the regen wears off, I actually have enough soul break already on Yoshitola to recast the ethereal, I forget what the soul break is called, but the one that gives your whole party protect, regen, and shell. Now, the regen part isn't necessary, but it's definitely better to have the regen than not to have it. If you have a burst soul break, a white mage with their burst soul break, that means you can infinitely heal. It's not that big of a deal. So now Ram's soul break is ready to go, and when the time comes, definitely when you get to round 6, just set up all of your buffs, and then you just go head first into the 7th round against the boss with most of your abilities still intact. Okay, gonna life siphon. Okay, one more hit ought to do it. So this should be the last turn where Gilgamesh still has his buff. Okay. And there you go, guys. You just rinse and repeat this until you get to the final round. Remember, you gotta target the bombs first. They actually do, like early on, you gotta target the bombs first because they do a lot of damage. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna flee now, since you pretty much get the basic idea of it. Okay, obviously your team will be better than what I just put together just now. And now I'm gonna show you guys the team that I used to beat the event, and what my mentality was behind it. Oops, no, I'm not entering. So Let's go to favorites. I have it, the party saved here somewhere. I think it's number 5. Okay. Okay, so this is a team that I use. Once again, I don't have a burst soul break. I don't have any soul breaks that do water damage. I just have, the only real source of water damage I have are spells and Terra's Chaos Water. Okay. Pretty much I loaded all the damage onto Terra. How should I explain this better? Okay. I guess we'll start with the White Mage. Whoops. Okay, so Yoshitola, Mako Might, obviously, when I went into the battle, first round, I just casted Aetheral Pulse. There you go, that's what it's called. Gave my whole party Protect, Shell, and Regen. I put all the heal abilities on her. I get 24 uses. Now, the thing I want to mention with this versus if you're using one White Mage like I did and you have 2 Curages maxed out, when you're going through the dungeon, make sure you use 3 of each. Make sure you use 3 Curages from each stack first, because just in case an elixir drops from one of the trash mobs, you definitely don't want that recovery to go to waste. So definitely just use 3 of each first, and then proceed to use it however you like. My support was Tyro. I used Power Breakdown, Multi Break. Now Full Break would be better here, but unfortunately my Full Break isn't honed up. That was a excuse me, sorry about that. But Full Break, it was my mistake. I didn't hone it up as much as I should, so I just ended up using Multi Break instead. I was still able to clear it, but that little bit of extra damage really piles up over many turns. For my second support character, kind of yes and no, was Papa Limo. Her record material was Dr. Mog's Teaching, because in round 1 I pretty much instant cast Lay Lines. So this soul break is just fantastic. You get faster cast time on your magic abilities, you get a magic boost, and it gives your whole party haste. So just use this turn 1 and then just start beating down I just started beating down the mobs. I have Alphanod. His super soul break was absolutely fantastic against the boss, being able to reflect damage back to him, especially since the boss has a ignore defense ability. So that means you'll be taking a crap ton of damage and the boss will be taking a crap ton of damage, because this buff will reflect the damage back to the boss. And unlike you, the boss doesn't have a way to heal off the damage. Okay, his burst soul break was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I put 2 summon abilities on Alphanod. Obviously, Leviathan for water damage, but even though their count is low, I mean, how many like Leviathan and Valifer you have? It's low. It's okay, because Aether Flow, the second burst ability, will restore abilities. Like, you just use this and you get your summon abilities back, 1 per use. So in 1 duration of your burst buff, your burst soul break buff, you get 4 turns. So that means during the course of your burst mode buff, you can restore 4 of your abilities. Okay, and then obviously Terra, she's my main damage dealer. Chaos Water, fantastic, just great damage ability. Okay, so that's the team that I used. My record material were Ace Striker Battleforge for Tyro. Obviously he's the Sentinels bot. He just casted Sentinels, nothing else mattered. Alphanod being able to generate his super soul break and his burst soul break faster was a huge was a huge advantage I got from using A Striker. I mean, his super and burst soul break are just so good. It's absolutely worth it to try and get it up as fast as possible. Terra, I just put damage on her. Papalimo, Dr. Mog's teaching, and then Yoshitola, Mako Might. And that's the party that I use. Once again, you notice KO resist accessories. Instant KO resist accessories. They're incredibly crucial in this fight. And obviously you can see that my Final Fantasy X gear, once again, is not that great. I barely have anything, and I was still able to master clear this. My Final Fantasy X gear is really bad. I don't have a burst soul break, and I was able to clear it. Now, oh, sorry, one more thing I forgot to mention is that my roaming warrior was Asylum, Yoshitola's burst soul break. Now, because there's only 2 charges of them, this right here, because there's only 2 charges of them, I had to use this very scarcely. I had to make sure that the timing was right. I used it once, I believe when I was at, when the boss was about 70% HP, and then I used it again when the boss had about 25-30% HP left, somewhere in that ballpark. So this is really critical. The instant heal is fantastic. This soul break is just amazing. So if you can get it from a roaming warrior, this would really help. If you already have it, even better. You shouldn't have much trouble against it if your abilities are well honed and you know what you're doing, because this is a battle of attrition, so there literally is no room for mistakes. If you make a mistake, you're probably going to be in a bit of trouble. And the last thing I want to point out is that for the Gilgamesh trick, if you have a strong enough party and you're just struggling with the trash mobs, Gilgamesh, his burst soul break is available from Keeper's Choice Volume 2 at a bonus drop rate. Now, would I recommend pulling for it specifically, like spending 50 mithril just to try and get it? I wouldn't recommend it because it's really risky. But if you already have it, great. If not, that's okay. And also the other burst soul break in here is Terra's Stardust Rod, the one that gives you Chaos Watera as a burst soul break ability. So both of these relics that I thought were pretty critical in either getting to the boss or beating the boss are in this banner. So if you're struggling a bit, you could try to pull for it. I don't recommend it, but just letting you know that it's here if you really want to beat this boss. And one final thing, if you guys want to see me do the 250 difficulty battle, like you actually want me to do the battle, the whole thing, the trash mobs, and then the final boss battle with the team that I have posted or shown right here, comment below. Let me know if that's if my team will load. Oh, okay, there you go. Now, like I said, if you want me to beat the whole thing using this team and you want to see it, let me know. Leave a comment below, or you can leave a like to the video. And that's it for me. If you're interested in seeing more Record Keeper content, do consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys later.